Ladies and gentlemen of America, this great country, I'm Joe Exotic for president. Hello everyone except that bitch Carole Baskin down in Florida. I am broke as shit. I am gay. I've done a lot of drugs in my youth, had some kinky sex. These guns here are for people, not my tigers. We have a very deep emotional bond. What are you doing? Son of a bitch!
Hey there, cool cats and kittens. It's Sawyer and Sailor here with Big Cat YouTube. All cringe aside though, welcome back everyone to another video. And it's kind of a new thing, but it's been out for about over a month and a half, 2 months now. But we finally got enough time to get to talking about it. So of course the main part of the video here is going to be about this Netflix documentary series or whatever called Tiger King. And Sailor, you want to go into describing, since she's the one that got me to watch it?
I got him to watch it because, as everybody's known, this timing for this film release or documentary series could not have been better. Everybody's stuck at home, we cannot leave, and we are just running out of stuff to watch. So what do we watch? We watch Tiger King, which is like I said, a docuseries that follows the misadventures of Joe Exotic and his arch nemesis Carole Baskin. Joe Exotic runs a zoo full of tigers that he owns, and at first it's like a wacky misadventure, like, oh, look at this redneck gay polygamist here with the tigers. And then as it goes on, it kind of gets more and more grim as you see, like, how unstable he is and how he treats the tigers. And then you have instances there's really three main, I'd say, characters. The side characters are pretty interesting too. Like, you have instances where you're watching, about, they have a zoo or whatever, and then someone gets their arm ripped off by a tiger. There's an accidental suicide, which is really the most shocking part of the whole thing, in my opinion. You have this other guy, Doc Antle, who pretty much runs a cult, really, with multiple wives, and then you have Joe with his two husbands, who they were both straight, but he just bribed them with meth, allegedly. Except they admitted, we smoked a lot of meth.
Yeah, and
I don't understand how much meth that would possibly take.
And then you have Carole over here with potentially murdering her husband, and you have how she doesn't even pay her employees. It's basically all these people suck.
Except I've got some tea to spill, and everybody in the comments is going to hate me for this because this is not the popular opinion. But I am not popular and have opinions, so I'm going to share them. Okay, so if you're watching this video by now, you've seen Tiger King, or you've already seen a lot of videos about Tiger King.
Oh, and it's got to be spoilers in this.
Spoilers, obviously, but we're kind of late on this, so I'm assuming that you know what went down.
Yeah.
You know. We know. It's everywhere. You know. And if you don't know, go watch it, come back. You gotta know, okay? It's all that's happening right now, except for the plague. So, anyways, my controversial opinion is, at the beginning of it, they say, oh, we started this because we were going to talk about the, sketchy trade of the, snake venom business. And then they saw the snow leopard in the back of somebody's van in 100-degree heat, which is illegal. You can't even keep your dog like that. You can't keep your kid like that. So what makes you think you can keep a leopard from the snow like that? Anyways, not the point. So they make it seem like this thing is going to be about, animal rescue and about how bad it is to keep these animals in captivity. And besides from a 2-second slide at the end, it's not about that. It's about Joe Exotic. And he is interesting. He deserves a documentary.
He was the funniest, wackiest part for me.
But they kind of dropped the ball on how they portrayed him. Because they kind of made him seem like, oh, look at him. He's our silly redneck anti-hero. No, he's a straight-up villain. He's evil. He's awful.
I mean, there's no good guys in this show, basically. Even
wait.
They set up that Carole was, like, you know, in the right and all. And she, like, her...
Actually, everybody from the way they shoot it, the general consensus is hating Carole. Carole, I thought, was the good guy from the start. I always had that image of her. And I'm going to explain why... The more I found out after this, it's true. Anyways, did you have something to say?
No, it's just like just how the show, like a lot of people came out like in that after special who decided to come back because Carole, Doc Antle, and obviously Joe, they haven't come back for that special because they did like a FaceTime special because of the situations we're in now. And I saw interviews on Carole, how she was portrayed. Same with Doc Antle. They didn't come back for that reason because they were lied to, they said. And
I'm
Joe...
going to get into that.
And Joe obviously couldn't because he's in jail.
I'm going to get into that.
So, but like the people that did come back, like the what was the shirtless boyfriend's name?
John.
John
Finley.
He hated how in every scene like it's like him shirtless or whatever because...
Well, he showed up shirtless. He decided to do that. He hated that they made him look like a hick. But I don't see how else you...
because he said he filmed stuff with like his fixed teeth and he had clothes on and all, and they still decided not to use that footage. He said that, so he could be lying, but... And like pretty much everyone does not like how they were portrayed in this thing, which is why it's probably really good and people like it. Because
I'm gonna get into it. I'm gonna get into it.
You get into it then, Sailor.
Okay, so chapter 1, Joe Exotic. They messed this up. They didn't mention his first husband, who died of AIDS, or his second husband, who was apparently also straight and went to prison for murder and child molestation.
Excuse me now?
Yeah, he doesn't know this, so you're going to get his authentic reactions. They didn't mention how in the 90s he got in trouble for like slaughtering a pack of emus because he said, I'm going to take these into the rescue. And he just didn't know how to feed them or care for them. Some of them ran out into traffic because he wasn't watching them right.
Oh my God.
And he shot a bunch of them dead just because he couldn't be bothered. And he almost got in trouble from it, but somehow he just kind of like skeet the line and nothing happened to him. So that was not the works.
Yeah, I've never even heard of any of this. What the heck?
Okay, and then so in his zoo, tigers are supposed to have like a big amount of space in the wild between each other. He just piles these SOBs all in the same cage with each other, shoulder to shoulder, hundreds of them. He feeds them expired meat off the back of the truck.
From Walmart.
He just dumps it in there and they just fight each other for it, okay? Now, he treats them so bad. You're not supposed to get in the cages with them. You're not supposed to be teaching them tricks. You're not, okay? So when he gets dragged by the tigers, it's not their fault. I've heard reports...
That was the funniest part of the show for me.
This is really bad. But anyways, so he's not good to these tigers. He treats them like garbage. Even in the documentary, they'd say, oh, my tigers are going hungry and stuff. You can't blame that on Carole. Okay? Anyways, how he treats his employees. They make it seem like a big, generous, courageous thing that he's finding these people, all these prisoners, they're down on their luck, and he's giving them a job. Their job requires them living there in these disgusting, low, no-water trailers where they have to live in the park for $100 a week they get. And he just yells at them all the time, and he's awful, and they are so broke and so poor from the way he pays them that they have to eat expired meat out of the back of a truck from Walmart. Okay, it's questionable that he's giving that meat to those animals, because that's not quality meat.
No.
That's not going to sustain these animals. But what's worse is the human people are eating this gross-ass expired meat that's been sitting in the Walmart truck, unrefrigerated. And he's all right with that.
And the thing that I didn't understand is, like, after you have segments, like, each episode pretty much focused on the person. Like, the first episode introduces, second episode focuses on, I think, Doc Antle, third episode's on Carole, then it goes back to, other characters. Then there's a segment where he runs for governor or something. I don't understand why he decided to do that.
Attention.
But it's just, there's so many segments where this show is like, what's the main focus here? Like,
and apparently, one more thing about Joe Exotic, they deliberately chose to not include a big amount of footage they had of him just throwing out racial slurs and saying racist things all throughout the filming of the documentary. Like, they had him on film all the time saying a bunch of racist stuff, and they just said, we kind of need people to root for him. So, I mean...
Well, I mean, I think...
I can root for an attempted murderer.
Well, I mean...
I can root for an animal abuser, but a racist? No, we're just going to cut that out.
Well, I mean, I think by the end, I don't think people are rooting for this guy.
They are. Go on Twitter, they are.
I mean, in a joking way. But from what I've seen, like... No. I mean, everyone here is not in the right or anything. Like, everyone... Pretty much all these people deserve to have some type of...
But some deserve a lot more than others.
Oh, yeah. Like, everyone in this show is like, what? I mean, it's just a bunch of crazy, like, I mean, it took me a while to finish the whole thing because I'd watch a couple episodes and I'd be like...
His white trash meter maxed out.
Yeah, I'm like, I can't with this. Like, this is just... And it's just, some of it just was like, is this how desperate people are to say that all this is, like, great quality content? Because... I mean, I enjoyed some of it. The part with him getting dragged around, top 10 of the year, top 10 favorite moments right there.
That was sad. He thought it was hilarious.
I couldn't stop laughing. I mean, it's sad when you in hindsight, but I mean, you gotta have a sense of humor. That was really funny. But I'm sorry. Take over. I can't.
Okay.
Oh my.
Now, Chapter 2, Carole Baskin. Everybody hates her. Does she have a Hillary Clinton personality? Yes. But is she better than Joe Exotic? Absolutely. 100%. She is so much better. People are like, it's hypocritical because she says don't keep tigers in cages, but her tigers are in cages. Where else is she gonna put them? Where else is she gonna put them? Where else can you put them? They were born in captivity. That's all they know. They don't have any skills. They don't know how to hunt. They don't know how to do anything. Anything. They can't go out into the wild. So, like she said, I'm giving them a place to live until they die. I can respect that. And did she used to breed them like in the 90s? Yes. But one, that was her husband's idea. That was his business idea. Two, she stopped doing it. She learned from her mistakes and she stopped doing it. And three, she wasn't breeding big cats like lions and tigers. She was breeding the bobcats and lynxes, which are wild cats. But I think breeding those and like when they're just everywhere, like in our backyards, is not the same as breeding big cats from Asia and Africa, okay? It's not equivalent. And the show really wanted us to hate her. She was told, and this is why she didn't want to come to the reunion. This is why she wants to sue for defamation. She was told that this film series, documentary, whatever, she was told that this was going to be the blackfish for big cats.
I remember hearing that, yeah.
She was told that this documentary was not going to be a true crime series about Joe Exotic because he hadn't committed the crime yet.
Well, like how, on a side note, at the beginning, when all these people were told this stuff when they started filming, that probably wasn't the intention, but by the end, well, they didn't plan on him getting arrested.
They didn't plan on it. It wasn't the
So
intention.
I don't think that was the focus until near the end, because that was one of my annoyances with the show, is that kind of goes all over the place, because it's filmed at different times, so that's understandable. Like, there's a segment where he's running for governor. That's like an episode. Make Joe make Exotic Gray again, or some kind of spoof. That's one of the title names, and it was so cringe.
And they spent like a whole amount of time on him running for governor and his music videos and all of that. And are they entertaining? Yes. Is this show good entertainment? Yes. Is it a good documentary?
Right.
It's not a good documentary because they left a lot of stuff out they could have included. They
Yeah.
left a lot of more important factual stuff out. They made it about Joe Exotic. You wouldn't do a whole thing about him running for governor if it's not about him. If it was about the cats, you wouldn't have done that. But Carole, when she was first approached, she was told that this was going to be about the cats. They play ominous music when they're talking about her and her husband and everything. It's like supposed to trigger you to not like her, the music they play. They take her out of context. Whenever she's talking about her dead husband, that was like at the very end of her interview. They didn't ask it seriously. They asked it as a side note, like, by the way, I heard something about that. You want to talk about it? And that's why she's so flippant, like, yeah, no, that was just a silly thing. She wasn't taking it seriously because the interview was not about that. Everybody else they interviewed about that are very serious and somber and everything because they came to them with the intention of talking about that. Carole only wanted to talk about the cats. She wasn't prepared to talk about that. That was a side note to her. She was not focused on it. She was like, oh, I don't even want to get into it. So if she seems kind of dismissive, it's because that's not what her interview was about. Everybody else is serious because that is what their interview was about. The family of the guy, that is a big thing because they're like, oh, she only left me for him because he only left me for her because she's younger, and she only wanted him because he has all this money. Well, guess what? It was known that this man had multiple affairs since the start of his original marriage.
He was kind of a scumbag.
But what they don't tell you is, I read this, apparently their divorce was initiated by his first wife because she found another man she wanted to marry. She never mentioned that. They both mutually split up. He didn't just leave her, okay? And the mom didn't get enough money in the divorce, so the kids tried to, like, go to court as, like, a witness to sue their own father. So, I don't really trust their opinion of what they say about him that much. And, like, he did disown them. But Carole still kept them in the will. So they're like, oh, why does she get more money than them? They weren't going to get any if it weren't for Carole. Okay, that's straight facts. Straight facts.
And then they went against her. And
then they went against her because it wasn't enough money. Okay, so I don't trust anything that comes out of the ex-wife and the kid's mouth because they exclude a lot of information. Also, they make it seem like Don Lewis was a millionaire when he met Carole. He wasn't. He was not a millionaire until after he married Carole and he got big into real estate. That is when he started making a lot of money. He was all right, well off when he first met her, but it wasn't until after they're married he became rich. And what they also do not mention is that Don Lewis was loaning money to the Cuban mafia. Okay, so what is more likely? Okay, this woman murders her husband who wants to divorce, or gets somebody to, and hides it somewhere on her property. This woman carries and drags this big man all around by herself, disposes of the evidence, completely wipes everything down. They find absolutely nothing against her.
I mean,
the mafia, the actual Cuban mafia.
Not to try to go against you, but they did say that the officers didn't take it seriously.
The officers did screw up.
And they waited days for where she could potentially clear up all evidence before they even searched the place.
Yeah, the officers did screw up.
They didn't take it seriously.
They did. And you know what, Carole, I'm not saying Carole's not sketchy because Carole is sketchy, okay? I'm not saying Carole's likable because she's not a likable person.
It's just kind of cringy whenever I see any of these people.
Yeah, but they don't include all of the theories because there are a lot of theories. Somebody with that much money, nobody even knows how much he had. He was burying gold bars all around the place. He was illegally flying without recording it at levels lower than the radar can pick up. He was doing that for years. He was working business with people nobody even knows. He was always going over to Cuba. There are a lot of ways he could die and a lot of people that would want him dead. So just focusing on one theory that Carole did it is not fair. It's not fair because could she have? Yeah, she could have. She had the motive, but she has way less means than a lot of other people that could potentially want to. And it's not good documenting to only focus on one side and then make it seem like that's all that happened. They put the ominous music. They have her talking about it when that's not even what the subject of her interview was. All these other people that are sketchy, they don't put any information about them in. Like, look it up, because these people are sketch. They are not legit.
Yeah, and because of all this, I heard that they reopened the investigation to, you know, like they're asking for tips and all. So maybe more stuff will get cleared up about this instead of being a question mark.
Okay, I have just one more thing to say about Carole.
Okay.
Because people are like, oh, she's disgusting. She doesn't pay the people volunteering to work there. Yeah, that's the definition of a volunteer worker. These people aren't paid, and they don't live there. They are free to come and go as they want. They want to work there. They have no financial ties forcing them to stay there. They have nothing that's forcing them to be there. It's free. They do it because they want to. And if they work around the clock 24/7, they chose to. They're not gaining anything. They're not being coerced to stay there. They want to work there because they like the cats. And are the cats in the best situation possible? Not really, but at least they have their own cages, and that's the best they could really do because it's expensive to have tigers. They're huge. They're not supposed to be here, but they are, and she's taking care of them, and these people are for free.
Chapter 3.
Doc Antle. Also Joe Exotic for his employees, but Doc Antle. Him calling her out for how she has her volunteer workers.
This guy's probably the worst out of the three for me.
This guy is the worst. Scum of the earth. Disgusting. Disgusting. Degenerate. Vile.
Trashy.
Like, wretched. Disgusting. Awful. Every synonym for ew. So bad. He's a pervert, and I hate him. It's like, one thing I do like about the documentary is that, like, when he's being all fake, but before
they show you.
Like, he thinks the camera's not rolling, and he's
let me go introduce you guys.
Okay, you guys walk to the door, and I'm going to answer the door, and I'll be like, oh, hey.
And they kept it in.
They kept it in.
That's parts of the show that I like.
Oh, wait, let me rewind. This is me on Jimmy. Okay, here. This is me on Jimmy.
I like when this show does that type of stuff because my.
This dude, Bhagavan Lord Doc Antle, Doctor of Mystical Sciences. Ew.
I mean,
ew.
Not even talking about the stuff that how he had like multiple wives and how he treated them and kept them.
I'm gonna talk about it.
But not even counting that stuff. The stuff I heard that how he apparently when the cats would get too old, he would put them in a gas, chamber or something and just kill them. That stuff is like really bad, and I mean, I'm curious on what's gonna happen with him and his area because I heard like at the end of the documentary, it isn't specific, but it said in December that his place got raided by like police officers and stuff. So I don't know what came of that, but I'm curious to see like there's more potential for this show because a lot of these stories aren't over. There's lots of open ends, so there could be more content that they add, like that surprising 8th episode with the FaceTime. I didn't really add a whole lot. It's just them talking, but
yeah, he has no right to diss Carole for her volunteers because she's giving them hours. They don't live. His people, like the conditions described, disgusting. The fact that these women have to sleep with him, disgusting. Ew. Like, they get paid nothing, and they have to live in garbage and sleep with human garbage. I'm sorry. Ew. No amount of tigers could ever, at least Joe had his sex cult on meth. I don't understand what you could possibly do to make somebody. He's just disgusting. He's skeezy. And he treats these tigers awful. Is his zoo more high budget than Joe's? Yes. But, like, the way he plays tricks and has them all dragged around and has his elephant going around, like...
And he's riding the elephant.
It is gross. And you know what? They're like, oh, we let everybody play with the tigers, this, that, when they're cubs. It's great. It's fun. Like... it's not, okay? Because the only way they make money is the babies, because babies are easier to feed, and once they get older, you just gotta put them down. Because there's no space, they're really expensive, and you can't make as much money off of them. So they just kill them, and like, people have heard it, and they've found dead tigers. They sell it, and it's disgusting. Also, they breed ligers. Ligers are a genetic mix between a lion and a tiger, or ligers, which is a lion or a tiger and then a liger. They breed them. These creatures should not exist. This would never happen in the wild. A tiger and a lion are on 2 different continents, Africa and Asia. India, they would never come. They would never. So these animals, when they breed, they purposely breed ligers. And they're born with so many genetic mutations, abnormalities, where it's like, it's cruel to make this animal because it shouldn't be here. It like keeps growing. It has bone problems. It has all these problems. And they purposely breed more and more of them because, oh, look, it's a liger. Oh, wow, it's a liger. It's disgusting. And Joe had the nerve to get onto Carole about those rabbits. Like, do you know how many rabbits at the Humane Society are put down and just thrown away? Awful every single day. I have rabbits, so I would not support somebody killing a rabbit. But at least these rabbits weren't going to waste. These were rabbits that were put down because they didn't have a home and they were sent there to feed the cats. There's so much going on with him that is so gross, and you just know it. And we don't know exactly what he does, but I know him and Joe were killing baby tigers, killing tigers just because they didn't have space. I heard this one thing. People that worked there for Joe said that, like, when he was just pissed off at a tiger, didn't like that tiger, didn't have space for more tigers, he would just take his gun, go in there, and get rid of the tiger. He would just shoot it dead right there and bury it or sell its parts to people. Like, disgusting, super illegal. Those are endangered. And they didn't even really like go into how much his employees hated him. In the after show, you can really hear how much the employees hated him. They're like, "Oh, were you loyal to Joe or the tiger?" The tigers hated Joe.
Oh yeah,
Awful
that's how
person.
everyone is in the show. They were all like,
They
we're
all
there for the
hated him.
They're all there for the animals. Yeah.
Yeah, but they don't really show that in the actual documentary, how much these people were mistreated and yelled at and abused by him. Like, everybody hated him. He was not a good person. Is not a good person.
All right, let's go to chapter 4 quick, because I mean, the Jeff Lowe guy. I mean,
that's right, Jeff Lowe. Ew!
I do not like him either.
The documentary does good by painting this guy as a villain, because he is a villain.
Yeah.
Takes baby tigers, puts them in
suitcases,
drives up the hotel to lure in women for him and his bisexual wife to sleep with. Ew. Ew. You know these baby tigers were not well taken care of, and you know this guy was killing them off when he couldn't use them. Because that's the only use he had for them. Scoring chicks. And his like, oh, I have an idea. It's a party bus with the baby tigers. And when we drop drunk people off from casino to casino, they can play with the tigers. So drunk gamblers are going to be handling baby endangered animals? Ew. Awful idea. Go to hell. Disgusting. Disgusting.
And then you have the whole thing on how he tricks Joe and takes the zoo from him. Oh my. And then they all basically... The thing that agitates me the most is one of the charges on how Joe was arrested for plotting to murder Carole. Is that possible? Yes.
No, I definitely think he did it.
I mean, I would, but the guy that he hired never got in trouble for it.
That's what's messed up.
That annoys me so much.
He didn't go through with it, but he
was willing to do it. He said on camera he was willing to do it, and he took the money and all
$3,000 of it.
Yeah, and he's like, and I don't remember where I went. I guess I never went. Like, how do you forget that you're going somewhere to do something that
he got high on drugs?
Yeah, but like, I mean, I'm sorry. You would remember if you were going to go do something like that.
Yeah, no, he definitely deserved to go to jail. I don't think it was entrapment because Joe was looking to kill her even if the government didn't get involved. Because that's the thing with entrapment. It's like, it's not entrapment because he was looking for people to do it before the government got involved, you know? The government just set it up to, like, prove that he was willing to hire somebody. That was not entrapment. But even if you don't think he should have gone to jail for that,
there's a ton of other reasons.
19 charges.
Yeah, there's a ton of
animal abuse and breaking the Endangered Species Act. He deserves to be there.
Yeah.
He deserves, even if you don't think he did what he did to Carole, which he did, he also sent her deadly snakes at one point, and I believe that.
He has videos on his show of shooting a dummy of Carole or stuff like that.
Threatening to
harassing her. Yeah,
things.
It's pretty bad.
Awful. He deserves to be in jail. Even if he got pardoned for that one thing, there's still 18 other illegal things he did.
Yeah.
Okay, he deserves to be there. But Doc Antle has also been breaking these same endangered species laws, and I know it. I know it. It's so obvious. Jeff Lowe, too.
And people have come out against Doc Antle as well.
Yeah, because he's disgusting.
So, like, it is kind of annoying how Joe's the only one that got any real trouble, and everyone else pretty much got off.
That guy in the jet ski at the end, he's suspicious. He did something illegal at some point. He needs to go to jail.
Of course they play Eye of the Tiger.
He needs to be in jail. He needs to be in jail. They all need to be in jail except for possibly, maybe not Carole.
Maybe not Carole.
Possibly, unless she did.
Well, what's some stuff you... Oh, that...
But, by the way, I mean, I've been going deep into this show. I loved this show. I was obsessed with this show. So entertaining. So good. I was convinced Carole killed her husband before I looked into it more, but, like, excellent entertainment.
Well made.
So good.
No one would have seen it if it wasn't for the plague.
So good. It's such a good piece of entertainment, but it is such a bad piece of documentary.
Yeah, it's not that great.
It's a bad documentary because it doesn't do what a documentary should do. And it doesn't really tell us anything about tigers. Do you know anything about the big cat trade in America after this? Where do the tigers come from? How do they get brought into the country? How does the export... You know, who is buying these tigers from Joe and Doc? Who buys them? We don't know.
Yeah,
they don't tell us anything about that.
The main thing is, like, this is one of the instances where they say it's for the, like, this whole thing's about the animals and all, but the people overtake them in what they're filming, when in actuality they said they were going to be doing stuff about the whole thing. So, I mean,
instead of all this time you spent on his campaign and his music videos and a bunch of this petty stuff, you could have given a big platform, a huge audience and platform of people, real information about how they could help these tigers and how they could boycott these roadside zoos and what they could really do, and the actual things that are important and matter in affecting these animals to this day.
Yeah.
And they don't tell us anything about these tigers. We don't know anything. That's disappointing.
Yeah, this is probably one of my longest videos, I'm not gonna lie to you, but I do appreciate everyone who stuck in this long and watched it. But those were my thoughts and my sister's thoughts on Tiger King. So, what'd you all think? Did you guys enjoy this video? If so, please give it a like and hit the subscribe button as well for more content. Comment down below your thoughts on this. That would be really appreciated. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, it's SorterSable or @SableSorter. Again, thank you all so much for watching this.
And if you made it to the end, just to flex that you made it all the way to the end, drop a tiger emoji into the comments.
No.
Drop a tiger emoji.
Sure, do the tiger emoji. Let's go with it. But yeah, thanks again, guys, and I'll see you later. Bye.